Welcome to another session of Names of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has 99 names. Whomsoever memorizes them will enter Jannah. So, last week we learned two names. Ya Muqit, the sustainer, and Ya Hasib, the reckoner. And this week we're going to learn three names. Ya Jaleel, the majestic, Ya Majeed, the glorious, and Ya Maajid, the noble. Ya Jaleel, the majestic, Ya Majeed, the glorious, and Ya Majid, the noble. Okay, so these three names, Ya Jaleel, Ya Majeed, Ya Majid, they sound a bit similar. Even the translations, the majestic, the glorious, the noble, they sound a bit similar as well. So what do you mean by these? Um, and why are we learning them all three of them together? Okay, so all three of these names have one thing in common. They're all about being amazing. They're all about being amazing. About how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is amazing. Okay, so what do I mean by this? So when we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Jaleel, the majestic, what we're saying is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has amazing qualities. He has amazing attributes. For example, think of something good. We think that people are, when someone is kind, that's a good thing. Yeah, so people are kind, that's a good thing. But one name that we're going to learn about Allah later on is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most kind. We say forgiving people is good, but we've already learned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all forgiving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the always forgiving. We said that giving gifts to other people, that's a good thing, that's a nice thing. We said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Wahhab, to give the gifts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that gives the ultimate gifts. So when you say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Jaleel, the majestic, we're saying that, if you think about it, look at these names and look at Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the most amazing qualities, the most amazing descriptions. They are only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ya Jaleel, the majestic, we're talking about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities are. When we look at the name Ya Majid, the noble, here we're talking about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's actions are. So for example, when we create things, we look around the world, you see all these amazing buildings and things that humans have created. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Khaliq, the creator. He's the one who creates from nothing. We learned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Musawwir, the shaper. And we said look how amazing it is that every single creation of Allah is different. Every single, look at all the trees in the world. Each and every single one of them is different to the other. No two trees are exactly the same. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Razzaq, the provider. Look how amazing it is how He provides for us. How Ya Muqit, the sustainer. How He keeps us alive and how He provides for us and gives us exactly what we need. So these are the actions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they're absolutely amazing. And so when we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Majid, the noble, we're saying look at the actions of Allah and how amazing the actions of Allah are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ya Majeed, the glorious, we're trying to talk about how amazing Allah is. Just how awesome and amazing is Allah. He's the first and the last. He is the one who created everything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some of the scholars say that, Allah is the one who has every imaginable perfection to an unimaginable degree. And the one who is free from every imaginable imperfection to an unimaginable degree. So just think about that definition, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's just Allah is just so amazing, and there is no way that we can ever fully comprehend Allah, but at the same time that shouldn't stop us from just being in wonderment, and being awestruck about how amazing Allah is. When we say, when we look at the name Ya Jaleel, we're talking about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities are. When we say the name Ya Majid, we're talking about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's actions are. And finally, when we say Ya Majeed, the name Ya Majeed, then we're talking about how amazing, just how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Yeah. So Ya Jaleel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities are. Ya Majeed, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And Ya Majid, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's actions are. And so now we understand, this helps us understand. If we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the most amazing qualities and the most amazing actions, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just so amazing, then now we understand, for example, in our salah, when we're reading Surah Fatiha, what's one of the things that we say? We say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Meaning, we only worship you, Allah, and we only ask you for help. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have the most amazing qualities, so we're only going to worship you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are the only one, you are the one who has the most amazing actions, so we're only going to ask you for help. We don't need to ask anyone else. We're only going to ask you for help, Allah, you are just amazing. So we're only going to worship you, and we're only going to ask you for help. These are the three names we learned then. Ya Jaleel, the majestic. Ya Majeed, the glorious. And Ya Majid, the noble. And we said each of these things are connected because we're talking about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Ya Jaleel, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities are. Ya Majeed, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And Ya Majid, how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's actions are. Okay. So now that we know these names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what does it mean for us? Well, the first thing we should do is reflect. Just think about how amazing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Before going to sleep or when you wake up, just spend a few minutes some part in the day just thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and thinking about how awesome Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, And you can focus on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities or on his actions or just on Allah and just think about how awesome Allah is. And secondly, that we should, just like in Surah Fatiha we say, we should worship and ask only Allah for help. Now that we know and we can appreciate a little bit more just how amazing Allah is, then it means that actually we should make Him the most important focus in our life. And we should make sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only one that we turn to for help. Because, given how awesome He is and how amazing He is, why would we turn to anyone else for help? Okay. So, three names we learned today: Ya Jaleel, Ya Majeed, and Ya Majid. So let's now go through all the names that we've learned so far. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, Ya Malik, Ya Quddus, Ya Salam, Ya Mu'min, Ya Muhaymin, Ya Aziz, Ya Jabbar, Ya Mutakabbir, Ya Khaliq, Ya Bari, Ya Musawwir, Ya Ghaffar, Ya Ghafoor, Ya Qahhar, Ya Wahhab, Ya Razzaq, Ya Fattah, Ya Alim, Ya Qabid, Ya Basit, Ya Khafid, Ya Rafi, Ya Mu'izz, Ya Mudhil, Ya Sami', Ya Basir, Ya Hakam, Ya Adl, Ya Hakim, Ya Latif, Ya Khabir, Ya Shahid, Ya Raqib, Ya Halim, Ya Sabur, Ya Azim, Ya Ali, Ya Kabir, Ya Shakur, Ya Hafiz, Ya Muqit, Ya Hasib, Ya Jalil, Ya Majeed, Ya Majid. So Alhamdulillah, two more names and then we're almost halfway through. So, in these blessed days of Dhul Hijjah, try your best, continue to memorize, and inshallah, we'll speak to you next week. Assalamu alaikum.